You're not drowning, you're just surrounded by people who never learned how to swim, and they're pulling you under. Every day you carry emotions that aren't yours. You feel guilt for resting, shame for not being on all the time. You say yes when everything in you is screaming no, just to keep the peace. But no one asks if you're okay. No one sees the cost of your silence. They just take and take and take. You think the solution is to be stronger, to grow thicker skin, to be less sensitive. But maybe you're not too soft. Maybe they're too loud. The world rewards noise. It applauds performance. It tells you, be visible or be irrelevant. But the Stoics, they built lives that didn't need to be broadcast. They weren't loud. They were unshakable. And that's what you need now. Not more noise, not more opinions, not more filters. You need armor, not the kind that shuts you down, the kind that keeps you safe while you keep showing up. The world will always ask for more of you, more energy, more availability, more pieces of your soul. And if you're not careful, you'll keep handing yourself out until there's nothing left of you but noise. That's why the Stoics didn't build louder lives. They built deeper ones. They knew that peace doesn't happen when things quiet down. Peace happens when you become quiet on the inside, because external silence means nothing if your thoughts are still screaming. This is what real armor looks like. Not fake confidence, not fake smiles, not pretending things don't hurt. It's waking up and saying, I don't need to prove myself today. I just need to stay aligned. It's not reacting to every opinion. It's not performing for every room you enter. It's protecting your energy like it's the most valuable thing you own. You can't control how loud the world gets, but you can control how much of it gets inside you. And that's where your power starts. Not in fighting everything, but in choosing what you let in. There comes a moment, maybe late at night, maybe in the middle of a conversation, when something inside you just clicks. You stop mid-sentence. You stop defending. You stop explaining why you feel too much, care too much, break too easily. You realize you've been speaking a language no one around you understands, and you're tired of shrinking yourself to make others feel big, tired of pretending indifference, tired of letting the world define what strength should look like. That's when silence becomes sacred, not because you're hiding, but because you're finally protecting something worth keeping, your focus, your peace, your real self. You don't owe the world a version of you it can digest. You owe yourself a version of you that feels whole. And if that version is quiet, let it be. If that version doesn't clap back, doesn't post, doesn't shout, let it be. Because healing doesn't make noise, it just makes progress. If this feels like something you've needed to hear, hit subscribe. The next piece might be the one that changes everything. There's a power in you that you haven't touched yet, because you've been too busy trying to survive instead of fortify. You don't need to fix the world. You need to build your inner fortress. That means fewer reactions, fewer explanations, fewer arguments with people who just want attention, not truth. A Stoic doesn't argue for peace. A Stoic becomes the peace. It starts with boundaries, not the kind you announce loudly, but the kind you hold firmly, even when no one understands them. It's waking up and checking in with yourself before you check your phone. It's deciding how your day feels before the world tells you how to feel. Your time, sacred. Your energy, limited. Your silence, a weapon, not a wound. The world will keep spinning, screaming, begging for a reaction. Let it. You've got work to do. Inner work. Stillness work. The kind of work no one sees, but everyone will feel when you walk into a room and bring calm instead of chaos. This is your armor, not built from steel, but from discipline. When was the last time you sat in silence, not because you were avoiding something, but because you were choosing you? Real stillness is uncomfortable at first. It holds up a mirror. It shows you the parts of yourself that you've been avoiding by staying busy, staying loud, staying distracted. But that's where all the clarity lives. Not in the noise, not in the hustle, not in the scroll, in the silence, in the space between thoughts, in the pause before you react. That's the moment where you reclaim yourself, where you stop outsourcing your worth to other people's opinions, where you remember that peace isn't passive, it's power with discipline. You don't have to be everywhere, you don't have to be everything. You just have to be aligned with the part of you that doesn't flinch every time the world gets loud. And maybe it's not that the world is too much. Maybe it's that you've never been taught how to stay rooted while everything else spins. Until now, you've been taught to perform, to be palatable, to shrink your truth into something others can digest without discomfort. So you learned how to smile when you're breaking, how to stay polite when you're screaming inside, how to respond to chaos with silence, not as power, but as submission. But that silence, you're reclaiming it now, not the silence that makes you small, the silence that makes you untouchable. There's a difference. One is forced, the other is chosen. One hides you, the other protects you. When you finally realize you don't owe anyone a version of yourself they can explain, that's when you start to live free. No more editing your emotions, no more softening your thoughts. No more explaining your boundaries like they're negotiable. You don't have to be loud to be strong. You don't have to convince to be valid. You don't have to prove to be worthy. Your stillness is not a void. It's a presence. It speaks louder than noise ever could. So now I ask you, not as a stranger, but as someone who knows what this journey costs. If you deleted every post, stopped performing, cut off the noise, would your life still feel like it's yours? And if your answer is, I'm not sure, maybe that's exactly where your real power begins.